Hey guys, StarCraft here, and I'm trying with my headphones to do this recording, see if it comes out any better. If I see can stop finally with the volume being so wonky. Don't know why, but apparently the um, microphone for when the camera's like selfie cam isn't working anymore very well. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on trying it with this, but yeah. Today we are going to be talking about something going back to the Archie universe, but because of that, no screenshots. So actually, let me just adjust myself here, and well, because like I said, I don't want to risk having things taken down. And like I've said before, in the last time when I was talking about the Jaguar the Hunger and Vampironica, from what I understand, Archie comics can be very overzealous when it comes to their copyright protections. So because of that, I'm going to be going, again, just showing it off. But, actually, one moment. There we go, better lighting. Now, what am I talking about? Probably one of the most unlikely of team-ups or verses or crossovers. Because long ago, there was Archie meets the Punisher. And it was a unexpected hit and very well written, very well handled. So when I was thought about what could be the next most outlandish crossover, and by the time given how things had changed was Archie, there's a lot to be a bit more closer to the source material. Someone had the wacky idea of Archie versus the Predator. Yeah. Done by Alex de Campi and Fernando Ruiz. Now I know Alex de Campi can be very divisive, and that's playing it mildly, but in this case, she does a fantastic job. She gets the characters, and well, the handling of the Predator is very wonky. It serves the story, and well, given how there's already a known case of Predators sometimes going rogue and doing their own rules and not following by their code of honor, here I can assume that's what we're dealing with. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Well, anyway, first of all, there's a bit of an opening that actually explains how once they came with the idea, they went to Fox about it, and Fox really liked it, and they greenlit it right away, and well, the rest they say is history. Now, keep in mind, this is clearly another universe interpretation of Archie and the others. This is not meant to be the Archie characterizations. Why? You'll understand why I'm saying that as we get on. As we open up with it's spring break time, as everyone's getting ready, as Cheryl Blossom invites them over to not invites them over, but basically starts saying, "Oh, I'm going to the Caribbean, ha ha ha," but then turns out at that same moment, Jughead had won his own a group of him and his friends to go on a trip to the Caribbean of their own. And of course, that's one of those, oh, it's perfect for everyone. And when you know it, they're in the Caribbean. As everyone's having a good old time. You're seeing Betty and Veronica they're being roommates as, well, they're forcing Reggie to bring up Veronica's luggage, things like that. And, oh, I do love this one bit. "Hey, Roddy, aren't you forgetting my tip?" "Oh, yes, silly me. Here's your tip, Reggie baby. Never wear white after Labor Day." Seriously, Veronica? Seriously, the guy carried up all that luggage and you're just going to be a cheapskate? But, basically Dilton and Archie are talking about how there's the yearbook. Yearbook is trying to figure out some of the other categories, such as best dressed, and well, Veronica overhears it, and well, everyone is all dealing with everything, just chit chatting it up and all that, and okay, you have stuff like saying register is a gosh darn sexual tyrannosaur. That's something they couldn't get away with back then, but just so weird hearing him say that. You know what? Obviously, I'm talking about it this way, so I'll give it a shot with the screenshot at this time around. Just this time around. Because I got carried. I've been getting carried away with it, so I think I have enough room, so let me scoot back over a little. As, well, Tilton goes out a running and gets out a telescope as he sees something coming down as, well, everyone makes a wish and all that. As, well, they're all just saying, like, make a wish. And there's a it turns out being, it's one of the Predator's ship. And you basically have, Archie thinks, like, a memorable holiday. Jughead, all you can eat buffet. Betty, and Archie. Veronica, flawless victory. Reggie, third base. And Cheryl, death to the proletariat. Basically the poor. Really? She's gonna wish for the poor to be all dead. See what I meant by how this is clearly not the regular version, because there's no way the real Cheryl Blossom would be that cold. And, well, basically they're trying to figure out everything for, the next day, Cheryl's just, again, showing off her ego and all that, as Veronica shows up basically saying about doing a little popularity contest, as everyone soon decide to have everyone take part. All of the ladies are there, so they'll all join in. And of course, you even have Midge and everyone. Everyone's all like, oh, this is going to be great. Betty wants no part of it until she ends up walking into where it walks into where her room is, where Cheryl is there, basically offering a chance to win the contest, providing her some materials. Betty's about to say no way chance, but then Cheryl points out how about Veronica and how Archie is completely swooning over her. So it's soon then decided, to vote on everything. And I love how Veronica has a hamburger ready to get Jughead to vote for her. And I also do like it how almost everyone votes perfectly for Veronica, except for Moods. Why? Because she's not Midge. Okay, there's loyalty there. And then all of a sudden, Betty shows up in this interesting outfit as everyone's like giving her better scores than Veronica. Even Moose gives her a 7. As Archie's ready swooning over her, but then Veronica's completely a mess, basically saying, this meant everything to me. You don't even care about fashion, and how could you afford that, even if it's last year's? Until Cheryl shows up, basically revealing it was hers, which causes Veronica to go berserk as she just jumps at Betty, and the two are fighting around. I mean, yeah, it's like, and she even says, I could have forgiven anything, but not teaming up with Cheryl. And then, as Archie trips, lands into Veronica, who smacks Betty right in the face, causing her a major nosebleed, and, all of a sudden now Archie's swooning over Veronica. It's more over-exaggerated and positive that's the intent. As Betty runs off while Archie and Veronica are making out, as she gets lost in the jungle. At the same time, we're seeing the Predator is watching and studying Cheryl and Jason. As Betty makes her way into this weird cavern where she's seeing all these symbols and all that until she finds a dagger. Basically, she grabs it and she just starts acting a little like, ooh, looky, I have this knife. And she says, I Betty Cooper, called down Jaguar vengeance on nasty old Cheryl Blossom and Veronica Lodge for punching me in the face and kissing my Archie. As everything starts to go crazy as she runs out of there. As she does, they're looking, everyone's trying to find Betty. As Kevin's the one of the newer characters who, he's gay. And what is part of who he is, it's not his defining trait, which I actually really do like. As everyone's starting to be free, trying to find her. Then Betty shows up. Archie just tosses Veronica aside, runs up to her. Jeez, man, make up your mind. As while they're all talking, blood is dripping down on everyone. But they're all none the wiser. As we then see that, the Predator got a hold of Cheryl and Jason. Quite gruesomely at that. As well as everyone's getting packed up and starting to head on back, we find out that Betty still has the dagger. And we then go to Pop's Diner as everyone's just celebrating this thing like, oh, well, that was a great spring vacation. As well, and at the same time, the end of the first issue ends with the predator eyeing on them in this infrared. Now, at the end of each of these stories, since they had a chance of having the predator, not the predator, having these other weird crossovers, it was then decided to try and do a few others, such as for the end of the first issue, it's Sabrina meets Hellboy, with all these written by Alex de Campi. For this case, it's artwork by Robert Hack, who's been doing the artwork for Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And, well, it's basically Hellboy shows up, and it's just a one-page thing. Shows up and meets Sabrina, who is much younger. She wakes up, and I love it. Future Queen of Witches, I present Future King of Hell. Hey, want to build some Lego? Again, it's nice, short, sweet, and yeah, I like it. I even like how Hellboy's just completely like he knows about Salem and just messes with him. And you're like, my papers are in order. When we emigrate from Germany, my ass. Come on, what have they got on you? My power's bound to a needle in one of their black hearts. Again, just a back and forth before Sabrina interrupts it. Just a moment. And then back as we start up the second issue with Dilton running on in. At the same time, you're seeing Pops is ready to cut a cake. But Dilton informs everyone about how Cheryl and Jason were found dead. And they were killed near the resort. Which everyone feels like, oh man, that's awful. And all that. Just as Pops is about to cut the cake, his head is blasted right off. Why? Because he was holding a knife. That's it. Everyone is completely mortified, but yeah, they all just start heading on out for a brief moment, try to figure, at least they're considering leaving, but Kevin is quick to point out how everyone keep away from the windows and nobody leave until the police escort us out. And, Veronica, and Betty grabs Veronica before she washes the blood off. They decide to hurry off out of there. They have to head to Greendale to see Sabrina. Why? Betty thinks all this has to do with the power of the jaguar knife. And she thinks that she basically has cursed a lot of stuff, especially Veronica, since she kind of called it out at her. And I love this bit though. Betty Cooper, why would you know about voodoo books? And then we see Betty stabbing at a Veronica doll. Ask my Archie to the Wonder Former, will you? Kiss him behind the football shed, will you? No reason at all. Jeez, see what I mean? This Betty is nuts. This Betty is obsessed with Archie. As basically they say, we gotta get going, and basically she thinks that now, of course, Betty is assuming things. She's assuming that shot wasn't meant for Pops. It was meant for you, and somehow missed. And they decided to hurry before the cops, as the cops showed up. And as everyone's dealing with it, they're all trying to figure out, they're trying to, get everyone out of there. And they soon decide, we got, as Reggie suggests, let the cops deal with it. And Kevin makes a good point of saying, can't believe I'm saying this, but Reggie's being the voice of reason. And again, I do like that, how it is that typical type of slasher movie type thing. But in this case, it's it's Riverdale. What do you expect? They're not used to this type of stuff. Anyway, they make it over to the Spellman residence. And by this point, of course, Veronica's been completely cleaned off. Well, mostly. And she doesn't believe that any of this are real. And it's just Betty, we need to talk about your superstition. Here's a partial list of things that are not real. Tarot, horoscopes, your lucky hair scrunchie, voodoo, in fact, magic of any sort. And then Sabrina shows up, and I gotta say, that's an interesting look for Sabrina. I'm not saying it's the greatest look, but it's an interesting look. And it's, well, she leads them up to her room, asks to see the dagger, and again, I love how they take one book and they say, like, I have something that might work. Well, it's really for zombies, but whoever sees zombies in real life, obviously that's a pot shot at Afterlife with Archie. But then, yeah. Apparently, this version of Sabrina is a Satanist, given that helmet, and how apparently it's later implied there was a mass grave. Yeah. Then the predator shows up and stabs Sabrina right then and there. The knife and the dagger falling and shattering. Blood gushing out onto Veronica as the predator rips off Sabrina's head. Shit. And then the Salem jumps and gets vaporized for his troubles as the predator leaves. And the two girls are completely stunned by what happened. And Betty was quick to videotape it all, mostly because she was videotaping Sabrina just to get some pointers. And well, then it goes from immediately from they all think they don't even seem to worry about Sabrina being dead, just that they saw an alien there. And then you see Veronica go into Sabrina's closet and find a little dress. And basically like, well, she's not going to do anything with it now. Nice, Veronica. As basically then, she's showing off, Betty shows off the Predator's image. Veronica thinks it's a ninja with terrible hairdo. Betty's still convinced it's the jaguar curse. And I love it. I was like, then how do you explain Sabrina's invisible killer, Miss Smarty Pants Lodge? He's a ninja. Why are ninjas fine, but not magic? Because science. As, oh yeah, whatever, Charles Darwin. As Betty starts, and not Betty, Veronica starts stripping down as, well, you. Betty Cooper, seriously, you'll just trip over and injure yourself. Or me. Woof. As the predator himself, if you notice, is also curious. Yeah, we'll get to why that is. As they decide to, to head on. Actually, I love this. Like, so our ninja seems a bit obsessed with us, which is totally understandable because we are the cutest girls in Riverdale, if not the world. But that means we need to text all of our friends to meet us somewhere safe, like the school gym. And then we smile and bat our eyelashes at the boy and also the cops. And the next time our tragically shoved ninja stalker comes for us, they can blow him to smithereens in return for kisses. We don't even know if he's killable, Veronica, or a ninja. Again, it's over-exaggerating their traits, but it's interesting as the dagger reforms. So it is probably cursed. As everyone meets up at the gym, as yeah, we then see Moose and Midge show up as well, they have water guns. Not gonna be helpful, but Kevin brought his dad, and his dad brought his uncle's guns, Uncle Sam's guns. As he then they show the photo of the predator, and given how Kevin's dad is military, he reveals everything about the predator to them all. How basically they're aliens that hunt down and everything. But then they pointed, from the looks of everything, this predator is a teenager. Yep. He's a teenager, and he has the hots for the girls. Well, Betty in particular, it seems. As, yeah. And, in fact, that was the other thing that's pointed out. That's where we find out there's a mass grave at the Spellman's residence. Yeah. Anyway, they just soon decide, like, we need to do something. Maybe we could send someone dressed out as Veronica, because they think that's what they're going. If there is a curse, that's what they're going to gun for. And they end up convincing Jughead to do it, and even probably them like lunch every day for a year. As we then see Reggie and Moose are giving a crack course, in using guns. And I love how Kevin's like, safety's right there, Rambo. And, well, to be it fair, Jughead kind of pulls it off a little with the calling him out, saying, "What are you waiting for? Kill me!" Nice reference to the movies. As all of a sudden, a shot is the predator shoots because it senses the gun from everyone, and jeez, and Midge is dead. Moose is mortified. Kevin's dad saying, "Get everyone and give them everything you got, boys," as a car lands on all three of them. As Kevin, I forget who the black guy is, and Reggie are all shooting, and they are, and most, Kevin and Reggie are definitely dead, and the other guy, again, I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but he crawls right up to the predator and says, "Yo, mama said it was your birthday, so I got you a present," as he pulls a grenade, blowing up in the predator's face. Not killing him, though, as he's running out in fire. As Jughead gets up, reaches into Veronica's purse, and pulls out the dagger. How it got in there, who knows, but given the mysticalness of it, who knows, and there could be a reason. But, and now for the crossover backup story here, it's instead of Little Archie, it's Little Mask, as Little Archie, by Art Balthazar and Franco, like Tiny Titans, finds the mask, and he basically like, "I got fireworks in my pants," and then Sabrina just whacks him, takes the mask off as they head on off. And I love how Reggie's like, "I met my hero." Given how much of a prankster he is, that makes a lot of sense. Cute. As now the next issue goes, as Jughead makes it back, almost gets hit by a trap, as everyone's so asking like, "How did it go?" And he reveals they're all dead. Don't know about the predator though. He saw its blood, but he thinks it got away. As you see, Jughead is torn up by everything. Moose, Kevin, Chuck was the other kid's name. Even Midge, he's wearing all that's left of them, and he just wants it to end. As well, basically, then Archie says we should call the police, but then Dilton reveals how through some kind of cameras and everything, that the entire Riverdale police force, both cars, they were at the Greendales at the Spellman's home when they're all disappeared. All that's left is a bunch of goats. Must have been the Spellmans who did it because the place is gone too. Must have been her aunt, probably. And then you see Ethel and two of the other girls, all this Ethel, Ginger, and Mira, all decide to be into head on out of there. They're like, "Nope, we're out of here. We're leaving," and they do leave. They don't die, no nothing. Now the fact is just the three of the girls leaving, just betting Veronica, making me wonder like, oh, none of the girls get whacked. But remember, Midge got whacked off, and so does Cheryl. So, and okay, Cheryl deserved it, but Midge did not. So, yeah, it's not saying that they're all immune to it. And trust me, the other two are definitely not immune. But they do leave. They decide to go where the AV club is and maybe be able to figure something out. But all the while in the event, the predator is sneaking around. As then Jughead decides to get a snack. Realizes he doesn't have any money, and he even says like, "Of course Veronica never carries cash." As he pulls out the dagger and uses it to knock out a chocolate bar, right as the predator comes behind him. Archie then decides, "I'm gonna go find Jughead, see where he is." As he's running down the hallway, slips and finds a Jughead's poor head in the snack bar machine that's broken. As Archie then says, "You stupid monster," and they find him like, "My friends aren't warriors, they're kids. Jughead is the gentlest spirit you'll ever meet, unless you're a hamburger." As they are all mortified by it, and even Veronica feels like, "Oh, Juggykins, I always said that junk food would kill you, but I didn't actually want you to die." Aww. As well, Dilton starts feeling like he's the runt. He's the one who's kind of being, like the butt monkey almost. As well, he then decides like he had something special to show him. As it's revealed, an Archie robot. And I love it. Like, why is it Archie? Don't you realize, Veronica? Everything is Archie. Always. Don't you go get that's the old catchphrase from the old show. Everything's Archie. That was the start of their little intro. And he gets in his suit. And although then he's like, I will save you from the predator. And then we will cuddle. Okay, Dilton, you're being a little creepy. As yeah, all of a sudden then the predator shows up and they start fighting as Archie tries using this big wrench to whack at it. Actually it deflects a blow. As you then see Dilton continuing to fight it, just pounding into it. Archie getting very wounded. The look on Betty's face, she's like, Archie! Oh boy. And but then the Dilton is actually able to net it. But then he basically says like, Betty, you are the nicest, prettiest girl I have ever known, and I am so sorry that my invention is trying to. Oh, jeez, it's going nuts. In other words, as because Betty's like, kill, and he's apologizing because he can't control it very well, but eventually he does, and once he does, he gets his head ripped off. Yeah, using the dagger, no less. Shit. As the two girls look down, was Archie, who's still bleeding out, and while the predator's holding Dilton's head. Now, yeah. Now let's look into. I have no idea what this one is. Jughead meets mind management. Apparently, this guy takes Jughead to a cliffside, and I call it MacGuffin Rock. Kicks him down there and finds out he's alive, and basically just like. I work for a clandestine organization of mind-powered agents that manipulate global events for the greater good. You are the last hungriest immortal. But I had, and to be sure, you weren't sure. Oh, basically, there was this thing, Jughead's an immortal. Not for what we saw in this issue. We get into the last issue, and ooh, look at that cover. As the Predator finally removes its mask, as it starts to rip off all the skin and the eyeballs of Dilton as he puts on his belt, and Betty passes out, and basically even says like, she basically like, leave me and my friends alone. What did we ever do to you? As he walks off saying, Betty, I'm Veronica, you twerp. And then we see Betty waking up, and we get little tints. Even the Punisher is in there. Very briefly. Even you have them like from Little Archie, you have Betty and Veronica. As Betty wakes up completely in the new outfit, evening dress, but it's made very clear it's not a dream. But basically then, basically finding out how if they're going to end this curse, it needs to take 2 lives, meaning someone else has to die, because one was used on Dilton. So basically, they're saying about we will use this panic room, and there's a bunch of weapons from after an Russian arms deal went sour. What? But then they decide they're going to go into the bomb shelter and blow it all up, blow the Predator to Kingdom Come, and this thing will not stop until everyone's dead. As they make Archie down to the bunker, as first, she even sets it down to 15 minutes till self-destruct. As they make it down and put him into this healing room. As they turn it up and Archie's starting to be stabilized. But unfortunately, they set it up to 11. As it then starts to, do something weird and funky to Archie. Mutates him, it looks like. As we then see Betty's in this fruit dress. But Veronica, she's being the badass here. And then we get this famous line of, guess who's coming to dinner? As she takes out the machine gun and shoots at the Predator, who dodges it. And, of course, Veronica says, come down here and grab a weapon. Betty trips and rips the dress, of course. The two of them, well, basically this leads to the whole notion of the final girls. As Veronica tries, wants to ready to use her heels. And while she runs, her lucky hair scrunchie got grabbed instead. And I love it. Remaining alive and science. Oh, jeez, Veronica. As the predator follows after them, as they make it into the bunker. But then Archie is there and decks the predator. Apparently, that machine roided him out big time as he sucker punches the predator. Then walking, and I love how Veronica's like, I think I set the machine too high. It's okay, I forgive you. Nice, ladies. As they realize they have only about 5 minutes left until the explosion. Archie grabs a battle axe, the predator a mace. As they go in the fight, they Archie swing around, but let's be honest, Archie's not a fighter. And well, the two of them are still duking it out until during the scuffle, Veronica's ready to stab the predator, but then she's stabbed by him, and he is torn like, I had to do it. You had a knife. Then Archie sucker punches him a second time, and they continue scuffling around a bit more. Betty comes down, even saying, not my Archie, and has her arm chopped off. Then he stabs Archie right in the head and just rips his head apart. And the look on Betty is the most mortified. It is even saying like, you killed my Archie, you. And she stabs the predator just as Veronica smashes him with the mace. And she says, always like maces. Daddy said they weren't a lady's weapon. Ronnie! As the dagger is destroyed. They are all devastated by it. And even saying, Archie was always the best of us, all of us, devoted to his friends, always looking out for us. He was never mean, not even to unpopular kids. Sure, he couldn't make a decision and he'd trip over a line in the sand, but he had real cute freckles on his shoulders and basically, yeah, then Betty's like, yeah, but she says, you understand why I loved Archie so much. And, well, they say, Veronica's even, Betty's even saying, like, what are we going to do without him? Of course, Veronica points out, panic room. And Betty's saying, why? Why? And then the predator is still alive and saying, Betty, go. Betty lives. And even Veronica's like, Betty, listen to the ugly ninja. You are the bravest, smartest girl I know. Don't tell anyone, but you're also the prettiest. And you are 17 gosh darn years old. You'll get over Archie. As they make it to the panic room and it blows up. As Veronica wakes up, wondering what happened. We then see that Betty is working on the healing machine, pointing out how there's a whole section in the manual on face and body reconstruction. And I love how Veronica's like, don't tell me you're going to give yourself plastic surgery. No. As it turns out, she's using it on the predator to turn him into Archie. And like to have some version of Archie after all. I mean, we'll have to teach him to chill out around culture, but he is devoted to us. After all, he dragged us in here to be with us. Yikes! And even the look on Veronica's face shows she's terrified by what Betty's doing, whereas Betty just has this big grin, and poor Predator, he's just like, I don't want this. So, well, the last backup story is actually the only two-pager. And it's Josie and the Pussycats meet the Finder. As we see the three girls and Josie and the three girls. Well, what are their names? I forget their names right now, but they decide, they're waiting on Alex, their manager, to come on in. He's going to be wearing a festival costume, and they're just dreading what it is. But then we see this one guy. They think it's Alex. They think because he looks kind of like him. And they're actually feeling like, ooh, new look. And she's, again, forgetting the blonde girl, but she's all like, what's wrong with me? Alex looks mega hot. So wrong. And of course, for Josie's just like, have you got directions for us? He points them in a direction, saying, follow the ear of the pipeline east, about 8 miles. Park back, or the Beacocks, go on in. And he says, I'll catch up with you later as they all drive off. And it turns out it's a spa. Meanwhile, Alex shows up and says, ladies, feast your eyes on the booty king of Crotch. What? And then they're all just chilling at the spa. Just like, don't you feel guilty blowing up the festival like this? So guilty. And all that as it ends. And, well, that's the end of this. I love this. I love this so much. It is just so balls to the walls insane. And yet, it's all kinds of fun. It really is. And believe it or not, there's a sequel in the works. Somehow. And it's a direct sequel. I'm curious on what they're going to do with it. But yeah, Alex de Campi really got a handle on the characters. Again, exaggerated as though they may be, it's still the characters for the most part. And again, it's to make it work. The fact they didn't hold back at all. Like, at all. They did not hold back whatsoever. And the death toll was huge. And just so much about this was just fun. And gruesome and all that stuff. But let's be honest, when you have the predator involved, what do you expect to happen? Now, granted, you can say there's a case of like, oh, it's more about Betty and Veronica, but final girls, hello, in a slasher movie, hello. And at least Archie got some licks in near the end. But yeah, I know they put more of a focus on Betty and Veronica, but again, I kind of see it, and it kind of works. And, well, what else can I say? Go ahead and get it if you ever can. Get the hardcover like I've got. I cannot recommend this enough. I know it's spoiled for you, but still get your own copy so you can experience and read it for yourself. So, yeah. I got a few ideas what I'm going to be doing, but I'm not going to commit myself directly yet. But until then, I'll catch you guys later. See ya. And remember, everything's Archie.